Good afternoon. Welcome to my channel, Together We Grow. My name is Hola, and like we always do on this channel, we'll be talking about current events in the world and just try to make sense of it all. Discussing today is concerning the coup in Niger and the recent development in the headlines. Now I'm seeing the news that there's this standby military force from ECOWAS, and some people have been sharing video where there are some French armor vehicle deployed in to the border in Niger, like with some Nigerian and ECOWAS force in general. So this is something that is, if care is not taken, is really getting out of hand, and it's unfortunate because if this should go ahead, it's just going to destabilize the whole region. And unfortunately, that's not what Africa needs at the moment. We in Africa, I guess what would be best for us is to everyone should go out in protest to all these embassies, the French embassy in their country and all Western embassies. Let your voice be heard. Let them know you don't want any war in Africa. You don't want any military intervention in Niger. That's the only way we can make our politician, we can force our politician to stop this nonsense. And if we really think about it, whose interest is it for there to be any military intervention in Niger? It's of course not the interest of the people of Niger, and not the interest of the people of Africa in general. The only people that will benefit from this military intervention is France and its Western allies, and also the ECOWAS region. The reason I said the ECOWAS region is because the leaders of this ECOWAS, like I said in my previous video, they are very corrupt, and they feel like if they don't do anything against this military coup in Niger, there's going to be some kind of in their home country, maybe they won't stand any chance, because they know that maybe the military in their own country too are following the event, and it's likely that if nothing is done, the military will get this kind of feeling that they can also get away with the coup in their own country. So they want to show that they can stop this by force. So that's a kind of deterrence for their own military, to know that if you should do the same thing in our country, at least you see the fate of those that did it before. The other benefit is for the Western countries, including France, is because now France is losing its foothold in Africa in general. Like in Mali, they've been chased away, in Chad and all these places. So the last thing they want is for another country to be successful in chasing them away. But let's say if if Niger would have been like without any major resources that they really need, it would have been something that they can think like, okay, maybe we can do away without Niger. But because they know that the uranium is something very important now, especially with the issue with the current event with Russia and Ukraine, because of the sanction and everything, that now the oil prices and everything is going up, and with this environmental movement and things like that, they are already thinking about moving to fully to, maybe if it's possible, all these non-renewable energy sources like nuclear energy, for instance. So they feel like this is not the time to lose their, because I think they said, what's it called? Nigeria is providing like 25% of the uranium that is needed by France. So France won't want to lose their source of uranium in order to use it to run their own nuclear energy. So those are the main reason why they want to invade. They know that when you destabilize Niger, at least that you can deploy military permanently in that region to say, now we want to do peacekeeping there. Then you can also control their resource. So that's the main issue, and that's the only reason they are going to intervene. They are trying to say the reason why they want to intervene is because the condition of the deposed president in Niger is deteriorating, and but that is a lie. Like, I will just play this video. A lie, because if you are only interested in Niger because of the condition of the president, then you can't just say, okay, you still have to negotiate with how they are going to release. Maybe you will say, okay, just release him, we are willing to take him into our country, like let him leave, and that's it. But I know the only reason why the military junta too are keeping the president is because of this. They know that there will be military intervention from outside if they don't do that. It's like that's their own bargaining chip. Like, okay, we have this man here. If you are going to do anything, we're going to dispose of him. We're going to kill him. So that's just a way to stop the West from taking any step, or even the ECOWAS from taking any step to say they want to come in. Because, of course, if they kill the president, for instance, who are you coming in to put back? Is it like... So anyway, let me just play this, and then we just listen to what they have to say. Then we try to see how they are trying to make it look like they are going there because of the situation of the president, whereas we know that's not the truth. The only reason they are going in is for uranium, and just to put a message out there, like a clear message out there to any potential, like anyone that might be thinking about carrying out coup in other West African countries. So
area to discuss their next steps in Niger.
The meeting comes as both the U.S. and the UN have expressed concern for the health of ousted President Mohamed Bazoum. His party has claimed that the military junta is keeping him and his family in cruel and inhumane conditions. CBS News senior, you sort of say that a military intervention isn't off the table, but then you don't do anything. It makes you look a little weak.
Well, Anne-Marie, the summit just got underway a short time ago, so there haven't been any real results to speak of yet. What the 15-nation organization is hoping to achieve in this emergency summit is a unified plan of action to deal with the military junta, preferably a diplomatic solution that would reinstate the government of democratically elected President Mohamed Bazoum. In his opening remarks, Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu described the coup as a threat to the stability of the whole West African nation, and that's kind of the point of this summit. But even going into this meeting, once again, they haven't ruled out military intervention. So far, this coup has defied any ultimatums, including the threat of force. West African nations are now divided over whether to take any military action.
So, Charlie, the junta announced yesterday a new government, as they called it, the positions they filled with civilians and military members. How is that being received? What does it signal?
Well, David, for one, it signals that those who staged the coup 2 weeks ago believe they're here to stay. You know, they've appointed this government. It's interesting they appointed the former finance minister as the prime minister now, and he will lead a 21-member administration. Generals from the new military council will head positions like the defense and interior ministries, but there will be a mixture of military and civilian members. That shows, at least on one level, a willingness that the government will not be made up entirely of military leaderships and generals that you might see in other situations where governments have been overthrown. But that's still not likely to reassure the international community, much less the United States.
So what do we know about President Bazoum's condition at this point? We know that a deputy, I think, Secretary of State went to speak with the junta leaders, asked to see the president. That was denied. He managed to get an op-ed out. So obviously there's assistance somewhere. But do we know anything about how he's being kept?
Well, the difficulty here and the concern is over what we don't know. The 63-year-old has been detained by members of his own presidential guard since July 26th. And the United States and the UN Secretary General has denounced what he called, in a statement, deplorable living conditions President Bazoum and his family are reported to be living under. He's reported.
They said deplorable living condition. That is the condition majority of Niger people are living in. So now, because the president is being detained, and maybe I hope it's not being treated poorly, like they are trying to say in this news report. But even let's say maybe it's not treated well, what about all the people suffering on the street in Niger? What about the general population that are suffering? No one cares about them. No one knows their living condition is deplorable until now, when the post president now is in in detention, and maybe the treatment they are giving is not good. That's now when you know that there's an issue in the country. That's one of the hypocrisy that, like, it's just too much. It's just too much. And when it becomes too much, like, I don't know why people can't understand, like, why people can't see it. Like, if you are so much interested in the welfare of the people, then you should have even supported this coup. You should have said, okay, right, like, now it's good you get rid of the president. Maybe it's not doing what the people want. Now let's find a solution. What are we going to do? Okay, you want to make transition, let's help you with the transition and everything. Let's make everything straight, go straight. I know maybe people can argue that if they do something like that, it's like giving the military, like, okay, free card, like, next time you can do something. But unfortunately, I believe if the country is run well in the first place, if the people are not suffering, if the economy is good and everything is developing or going in the right direction, then there wouldn't be any military coup in the first place. I'm sure if the country would have been at least in some kind of good state where people are having good standard of living and things like that, even if the military want to plan coup, I'm sure majority of people will be in opposition to the coup and they will be on the street. See what happened in Turkey the last time when they want to try to depose this Erdogan, or what's his name. People came out in support. They stopped the coup. So that would have happened in Niger too if the government is doing right with the people. But because the government is not doing right with the people, that's why we see what we are seeing now. So that excuse that they are always using, because now that's the excuse they want to use, that they will invade if it's not treated well and it's not reinstated. Nah, that's silly excuse, and everyone should see through that lies, that this is all lie. The only reason we want to invade is because of the resource there, the uranium specifically, and also to put a deterrent for anyone in the future that is planning, and also to make sure that Russia doesn't get in that region, because now they know that people are waving Russian flags and things like that. So that's one of the things that they don't like, and they will try and stop by all means. Like, they don't care if people are going to suffer. They don't care how many people are going to die. It's about their own interest. That's all they care about. Now I saw this video. I'm not sure if it's just a propaganda or if it's true. This news that we're saying that the Niger junta warned they would kill the post president after any military intervention. So, like I said initially, maybe they are using him just as a bargaining chip to, like, okay, we have him, so you can't say you want to invade. If you are going to invade, we are going to kill him. Maybe they are just using like. I hope I hope nothing violent, like no killing, nothing will happen. I hope everything will go in a diplomatic manner, like they will try and resolve this peacefully. The only way I see forward is let this new military, governance and everything that they are trying to plan, like all this, let's see how they work. Give them chance. Let's see how they work. And if they are not doing well, then in the future we can now start to say, okay, let's stop them or something. But at the moment, let's give them chance. I just believe that's the only thing. Like, now the thing people can do is to go out, go to all the embassies. All Africans should go out from their home, protest. Let your politicians know that you are not supporting this invasion. Go to the embassy, make your voice heard. Let people, because this is going to be something serious. If there's going to be any war or anything, it's going to be serious. So this is another one, like Russia wants ECOWAS not to take military action. I hope that is true, but like there's been propaganda. Like you can't trust anything. Most of the things you see in news nowadays, take it with a pinch of salt. Just know that there's going to be some element of truth in it. Like maybe some element of truth. Majority of things you see in the news nowadays is mainly propaganda. Like they will tell you the side they want you to know. Now when they are talking about Russia, they just want you to think like, like Russia has always been against any military. Like when they went to kill Gaddafi, for example, Putin was saying like, why would you go into a country to kill their leader? So then they don't know. Like when they see, the funniest thing in this thing is when you went in to kill a leader of a country, you don't care, like okay, this is a leader of a country. But now when some people decided to get rid of their own leader that they think is not worthy to be in the office, now you want them to reinstate it. You just see like it's so. Every time when you look at this, it just I don't know, like it's tiring. Like it's just like when we need, this is the time Africa has to really make things work for the continent as a whole. This is the time we need to unite, try to find a way to develop. We don't need to involve ourselves. You know what the West want now is what they are going through with Russia and Ukraine. They want everyone to experience it by force. They want all regions to be going through the same thing. Why do we need any war in Africa? We don't. And like I said earlier, like now Mali, Burkina Faso, I think Guinea, many countries are saying they are not supporting this military intervention. And if there would be any military intervention, they might also come in support to support the military junta in the Niger. So that shows to you that there's going to be it's not going to be just you trying to use military intervention to get rid of some small cool group, like maybe some officers. No, it's everyone. The people on the street will fight you. Everyone will be against you. So why take the risk? And that will create enmity forever among these African nations. And that's not what we want. We want unity, not... Anyway, like, it's sad. The only thing I guess people can do at this moment is to protest. Go out, go to all these French embassies and all Western embassies in your country, protest, and protest. That's all you can do. And that's the only thing, because we don't really have any other means. We don't have any way to stop this. Because if these people decide to go ahead with what they want to do, they will go ahead. You can tell, like, if the senators that are supposed to be representing the will of their constituents, if they said, okay, we don't want military intervention, but still the president still want to go ahead with it, like, what does that tell you about democracy? And that's the democracy they want us to accept by fire, by force. Anyway, I'll be leaving it here because it's been like 20 minutes already, so I don't want to make the video to be unnecessarily long. Please, if you enjoyed this video, just kindly hit the subscribe button, share, comment, and like, and also hit the notification button so that next time when I post, at least you will be able to get a notification and be able to watch the video. This will really help the channel. And thank you. If there's any other thing, I will try and post and update and things like that. But what I can just say for now is, please, let's try and wake up to the reality of things. Let's not just follow the propaganda we see in the news. Let's try as much as possible to go out of our way to learn our history, to see through all these lies that they are trying to force on us, and let's not fall for it. Let's not fall for their deceit. So until next time, anyway, bye and take care.